One. It's been a while. Welcome back to the Jagged Edge. Javal, how have you been?
Still want to go back to New Orleans.
I think anybody that went on that trip wants to go back to New Orleans. Let's yeah, we got a game this Sunday, but let's kind of go back. I kind of pulled this off later than I wanted to because I just been so tired at work. But recap your New Orleans trip as late as it's finally been.
Um, I mean it was great. I was only there for like Wednesday to Friday, so like got there Wednesday evening, and then as soon as like you got food, luckily the place we got food was like right next to the bar, so that like all the Jags fans are at. So Wednesday was just great. Like I just saw people from like the tailgate and stuff like that, and people, just everyone was having drinks, having fun. Then Thursday, just everyone was ready for that tailgate. I just remember seeing like the barstool people at the tailgate. And I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be hilarious. And just the whole vibe was great, getting there. And then just the game itself. My seats, the only bad thing about the seats, I had like very high up view. So the view itself was actually pretty good because since it was in a dome, like it wasn't that hot at the top. It was just the stairs in the Superdome, just walking up each step, it was so steep. I was like, my calves are on fire just going back in and out the bathroom. But just had a great time. Obviously the Jags had a great win, so I always remember that game. And yeah, bro, just really glad that I don't know, seeing like all the Jags fans in New Orleans, even when I was like on the airport and I saw some people in Jags gear, I was like, yeah, this I can tell we meant business. So shout out to all the fans who came in, shout out, and turned New Orleans into Duval. So and I think the funniest thing to me was that I always thought that like Jacksonville like its own like unique city, and then I go to New Orleans, I'm like, this feels like Jacksonville like Cajun. And the fact that the area code for New Orleans is 504, I'm just like, this really just feels like Jacksonville, like with more music and like
There's
French people,
jazz
basically.
music everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like it was ghetto like Jacksonville, but like a little more French. So I kind of like being there actually. I mean that in the best way possible. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I totally agree. Yeah, I had a similar experience getting there. I didn't get until New Orleans until like 4 p.m. So it was just a quick get baggage in the baggage area, go get an Uber to the hotel, check in quickly. We have the second line circle at 7:30, so I got settled in at 5 p.m. at the hotel finally. I was like, all right. Me and our roommate Marshall we were like, all right, once we
shout
get
out
checked in,
Marshall,
we
friend of the pod.
friend of the pod. He had a good time on Bourbon Street, a little bit of a good time on Bourbon Street on
I
Thursday.
think everybody had a good time.
Yeah, I'll get to why yeah, after game experience, but I got settled in at 5 p.m. We didn't even take 15 minutes to rest in the hotel before we had to go out and grab some dinner on the way to Bourbon Street. We decided to stop at Brothers, who apparently had the world's best baked ham, so I got it. It was some pretty good ham, but I was more shocked at how good their potato salad was. Shout out to Brothers. Their potato
That like
salad
the
was
convenience store.
no, that's Brothers. Was that Brothers? What was the name of it? Shit, Mothers. There's a Mothers and there's a
Oh
Brothers.
my
That's
gosh.
why that confused me. It was Mother's restaurant that the uh world's best baked ham. I had Brothers on the way back from Bourbon Street on the first night, as well as the last night I was there. If you want, like, it just reminded me of just you can get like chicken tenders and fries like 24/7. It's so elite. So yeah, if you're looking to not get a hangover after a lot of drinking the night of, go to Brothers if you're ever in New Orleans. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people from New Orleans already know. So shout out to Brothers for taking care of me.
Official friend of the pod. There
My
was
fresh
Brothers right next to the hotel, so I was able to just walk after the game, and like it was literally 12 o'clock Thursday after the
Mhm.
game. I just like half the line was Jags fans just getting like chicken, like wings and tenders, and it was some of the best chicken tenders I think I've ever
Bro,
had.
it was so fucking good. I couldn't believe it. 24-hour chicken tenders, like with
That
Cajun
was
seasoning
heavenly.
on that steak fries they had. Like, bro, that shit was yeah, summary quick summary, I gained a lot of weight, but I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. Thursday, I woke up early. We had to go to CVS to get our electrolytes for the amount of drinking that we were going to do throughout the game day. And we went to the CVS, we got some stuff, but we saw that there was a supermarket called Rosa's across the street, and it was basically a Publix with a liquor store all in one. Fantastic supermarket store. People that saw me on the trip that were looking for water, especially on Bourbon Street, I was like, hey, there's this place in the middle of Bourbon Street that basically sold water, like smart water, like generic smart water, generic Fiji water for like regular grocery store prices. So that saved my life a lot when I was in New Orleans. So I would have spent like 50 more dollars on beverages if it wasn't for them. So shout out to them. And I don't even know what I did for lunch that day. Oh yeah, I just we just held over for the tailgate because it was all you can eat, all you can drink. Just seeing everyone that I would see usually from tailgates back home. Hell, people that visit my workplace at the Wawa I work at. Just there's this one lady. Shout out Miss Deborah. I don't know if she ever watches, but
Shout
shout out
out Miss Deborah,
Miss
unofficial
Deborah.
friend
Yeah,
of the pod.
exactly. She was yeah, we everyone that was there from Jax to there were just, we all drank, we all ate, we all had a good time. Just a lot of camaraderie. I met Christian there. Shout out
Shout out
Christian.
Slot Fade.
Shout out Slot Fade, man. Yeah, he accompanied me a lot. Yeah, but I also skipped out on the second line parade. Just there's this picture of me hanging around the internet, double fisting a hurricane. And Eric Dunn thought I was it's gonna be fucked at the end of the night. But guess what, bitch? I lived. Like I said, shout out brothers. They made sure I wasn't hungover. I should have gotten six, but I only had three chicken tenders at a time. That's probably because I thought the baked ham was still in me. But like, bro, like I said, good shit. Didn't get me hungover. Don't know how it didn't because Jack Young's girl didn't want her hurricane. It's the reason why I double fist in the first place. I didn't pay for two. Well, I paid for Marshalls, but I didn't pay for two for myself. If somebody offers you free drink, I'll take it. Only it's from a friend. I don't trust if a stranger does. So that's just drinking etiquette, of course.
I'm just trying to remember if I had any casa at the tailgate. Did I have one?
I think you did. I think there's a
I
picture of
remember
you.
I remember being drunk at the tailgate, but I don't remember if I was just drunk from the drink I had before I spin the bottle or after.
I think I saw you. I think that they uploaded the pictures today on Facebook. I think I saw you with a Casa bottle.
I need
I
to
don't
find that
remember.
picture.
I think I may or may not have saw you in there with a Casa bottle, but that's for after the pod to look at. But yeah, I left 2 hours early because I left before the Barstool people arrived because I just wanted to get settled in because I know if I left an hour before, I'd probably get lost. So I was like, me and Slawfade went in a bit earlier, a lot earlier than everyone else did. So I can legit just walk around, just see what the atmosphere of the Supernova. That place looks so massive on the outside. Uh, it's just I guess a stark difference to what kind of stadium we have back home where it's all open. Just seeing like a massive dome in the middle of the street is just very, very different.
I guess going more so to like the atmosphere itself of the stadium. I mean, that was my first dome stadium ever. So
Hmm.
I knew it was going to be loud, but even oh man, my ears were just I can't imagine what it was like for the players
Hmm.
having to go through that crowd noise because it was intense and just I remember, like the first like every time the Saints did anything good and the fans got to make noise, I could hear it. I felt for the players because I know, it must have been very loud, hard to hear. So it was a crazy environment. I can see, why. Obviously, Trevor's played in that stadium before with Aunt Clemson, ETN too. So they've known the stadium. It's pretty big. So I see why they use the Superdome for like big time games because not only is the stadium itself just huge, but the environment to play in, like the crowd noise, how amped everybody gets, it's truly an experience. So definitely
Hmm.
a grad got straight off the bucket list. Like go to different stadiums. So it was crazy, but I'm glad that we're able to get to go. The only
Yeah.
other stadium I want to go to really next is Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, which
Oh, I
we,
have
we didn't
been.
we didn't get to play the Falcons in Atlanta, or so I don't know when that's gonna happen, but that's the
Yeah.
one stadium I want to compare because I know they're like similar. But
Hmm. I can't say I had a similar gaming experience because when I went to watch the Jags and the Falcons in Mercedes-Benz, they were both out of playoff contention by then. So people are just kind of there to vibe, honestly, more than just watch a football game. Like all the people were nice to me, it's like, yeah, both our teams suck. Yeah, we're here, but hey, we're here to watch a football game, I guess. And I had the club seats. That's the thing. I had such a different game day experience. Instead of just being around the Bold City Brigade, I had a club seats right at the Jag sideline because they were less than $200 each. So me and my brother were like, "Fuck it, let's see what the club day experience, the club experience is like." And bro, it's like out of this world, like food, water, like stadium wise, it's like, oh my god, just such a beautiful stadium. Hope we get to go there sooner than later, but that might be at least 4 years from now, if not earlier with the new scheduling rules. So we'll see whenever we play the Falcons again. But Superdome was nice. People were nice before and after the game. During the game, yeah, of course, there's gonna be a little trash talk. I would expect it. But the people in New Orleans were very hospitable. So shout out to the city of New Orleans for taking good care of us and not trying to kill us like before, during, and after the game. So I will give them a shout out because they were super nice and lovely.
remember after the game, I was walking and I heard somebody, Jags got a lot of fans. Like they damn near took over the stadium. I just remember like at the end of the game, like when we made the final stop, and like just here's Duval, like just resonating to the stadium, and there's Saints fans just like down. So that was great. Shout out to all the fans always for being in attendance. Making it feel like it was a home game as much as we can. So
Yeah, when they tied 24-24, when halftime when Union Twins played again, they were all singing along. The dread just said it pretty bad. I was like, oh, please, I don't want to spend all this money just for
nobody
yeah,
wanted to spend all this money to watch the Jags. Well,
blow a 15-point lead.
I guess yeah. Now we can talk more into like the actual game itself, the
Yeah.
experience. Dude, I just like looking back at it, I was like, yeah, 31-24 win, like great game. But then
Hmm.
at the moment, I was trying not to panic too much. I was like, you know what, like it's weird because after the Chargers game, it's hard for me to like, this team is always going to compete, like no matter how much they're up, how much they're down. This
Hmm.
game can always come down to the wire. So I've learned to never be too comfortable. I don't know. I'm more comfortable when the Jags are behind than when they're ahead. But thankfully, shout out to Christian Kirk. I don't think I've ever seen him run that fast in his
No,
entire life.
never. That's crazy.
Just that, I mean, he made up for the fumble, which the only thing like the offense was clicking the first half. If Kirk doesn't fumble,
We
they're
That game would
probably
have been out of hand, yeah. If that's
they
but
probably
that's
they probably put up at least 20 in the first half, if not 24. But just what a crazy game in general. Shout out Trevor Bumney led the team in rushing, which is hilarious. Um, Outside of the one dumb almost interception, which I thought they were going to keep that interception, but thank God that was overturned to Lattimore, which I don't know. Like, if you have Agnew on versus Lattimore, why would you throw that ball? I still don't know, but
mhm.
thankfully it was incompleted, not interception. So I was a little outside of
Yeah,
that though. I think
save put 3 more points up on the board than we had, which it made an impact at the end of the game. I'm just saying, take the points when you're on the road, especially. I mean, that's just I'm glad they took the points because there's some times or during the season where we're just like, oh my God, please just take the points. I don't know.
I it being a game where like I felt the Jags are going to lose control. Lost turnover battle on the road, short week, kind of banged up. The Saints had all the momentum. Jags are able to not only equalize the score, Kirk that touchdown to me is still so crazy. Just like he looked like such a speed demon, and like I don't think Kirk is a slow player by any chance,
Hmm.
but he looked like he just had an extra gear on that play. Like the way he just caught it. And then as soon as he got in the open field, I was like, yeah, like he's gonna be able to run for a good amount. Then the stuff from at the end, I think that's probably his most important play as a Jag, like since he got signed. Hostile environment on the road, offense wasn't getting it done. as simple as, like quick little like first of all, the route himself was filthy, little stop and then just, stop and then kind of go get Tyrann Mathieu moving like, they set him up perfectly with the route. It's a great route by Kirk. The rack was just the cherry on top. So I think that was probably Kirk's best play. Like just obviously he's made some great catches and like it was simple catch, but the route itself was great. And then to not only have the route, but then go upfield, stiff arm, outrun everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Huge play. So shout out to Kirk. 6 catches, 90 yards, 1 tutty. Um, just everything as a whole about that game was crazy, but I'm glad that we were able to still come out with the win. Shout out Foye as well. That pick six
Oh
was
yeah.
also Darius Williams because he was one who had the pass breakup that led to the pick six. I think he
Mm-hmm.
leads the league in pass defense 11, so he's been on
Pro
a
Bowl
tear this
him,
year.
all pro him. Phenomenal season so far for Darius.
That it was funny because and I was like looking back at the play, I didn't realize it was Darius who caused it. My guess was going to be Trey because it looked like it was a nickel, but then I saw it was Herndon. Saw it was Darius. So I was like, yep, that's him. Darius, making great play that leads to Foye. Probably two of the more underrated defenders because Foye's on pace for another like 180 tackle plus season, and he got his first touchdown. I think he should be a Pro Bowler this year. Just I think there should be at least three Pro Bowlers in total from this team. And if I had to pick right now, definitely Josh Allen, probably ETN and Foye is my guess. So, but
I think you're also underplaying the safety play from Cisco as well,
oh
because
yeah,
yeah, we might
I
have
think
like five.
I
So
think
like,
Cisco is definitely, especially with the safety position in the league. There's
mm-hmm.
not a ton of big names. I think Cisco has established himself up as there as well. So just
Get the horny
great.
fans over Cisco too.
Yeah, we have
Gotta
to
get
get
the
the
horny
fan
vote.
vote.
Yeah.
All the Jags needs to do is post a picture of Cisco shirtless and then just say like hashtag Pro Bowl vote.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's basically in. So,
I'll be
um,
smashing that retweet button on all accounts.
I guess yeah, just the game itself was just a crazy back and forth. Not even fully back and forth because the Jags like took control, and
Yeah.
then
Almost kind of lost it. Well, they did lose it. It was tied up at one point, and then they just held on. It took kind of a lucky drop, and shout out to
uh,
Buster Brown
I,
for
I think the throw by Carr like on that Foster drop, like looking back to the end zone replay, I still think like based on how Foster had to extend his fingertips, like if Carr puts out a ball in just a little bit easier, that's a
Mhm.
surefire touchdown, but he had to extend. And so I know a lot of people gave Foster Moreau crap. I still don't really love
the
the
throw
throw
itself.
itself. Considering there wasn't really that much pressure and he was wide open, you
Hmm.
don't have to do it off a guy's fingertips. Like, if you just throw it in the bread basket or even by his chest, it's an easy catch. But
Hmm. Hey man, it's a quarterback's league. If the
sometimes you have
receiver
to get
touches it,
lucky.
yeah. But like, quarterback league, if the receiver touches it, you gotta catch it. That's just how the league is, unfortunately. But and then shout out Buster Brown, I was gonna say, because he also was mossed for the Mike Thomas touchdown to set up the 2-point conversion by Kamara. And then he, recovered for that for fourth down play to seal the win for us. Personally,
Even
I couldn't
behind the
believe it.
fourth down, I think
Yeah.
he had it. I mean, the Mike Thomas touchdown, I don't think it was bad coverage. Like, he
Hmm.
played it pretty well. Mike
Yeah, it's
Thomas was
just
able to get a step.
yeah. Just like a phenomenal catch from Mike Thomas and phenomenal ball from Derek Carr. But hey, next man up, guys like Campbell, who was hurt during the game, guys like Cisco, who, messed up his hamstring when the Wingard came in, had a phenomenal hit on the goal line. Too bad it didn't count for anything with Taysom Hill. Ran it in for 1 yard. How Taysom Hill kept making plays on us was kind of like, oh my God, like what is going on? I
Short
just
short
remember
week,
that.
tired
Yeah.
defense.
I just remember that like big stretch catch he had over his head to set up was set up one of the
That
touchdowns.
was fake. That was fake.
I was like,
Taysom Hill running, I can live with that. Taysom Hill making catches, I'm like, okay, this is where the game is. This is the stupid plays.
what happened to the game I love? Basically, time is
Exactly.
stuff.
But I just
Uh,
want to say I always believed in Buster Brown. They called me a madman. I believed in Buster Brown. I think the funniest thing is that if Claybrooks wasn't a piece of trash, then that probably would have been Claybrooks as his backup. So yeah, I
I
don't think
mean,
Playworks is getting no drawback. So
no,
thank God.
nor does he deserve it
Or
because yeah,
not only are you a bad backup, but you're a bad person on the field. At least Chase Song's
off
a
the
good
field, yeah,
dude. Like, come on, you
yeah.
know.
No, no, he didn't get a sack in New Orleans. He didn't get the sack near where he played college. So um,
Okay, we
we're still three away. We
I
might
just
be.
want to say, going back to that Chase on sack he had versus the Colts, that was literally the fakest. If Gardner Minshew didn't hold on to the ball for like 7 seconds, Chase on would not have 2 sacks. But whatever, dude.
Hey man,
That's not
that's
even a pressure
ball.
in my book. He just held on to the ball. That's
Hey,
a
he
quarter.
same. He had two sacks of the same variety this year. Him against the freaking Chiefs with the same way, and like it's the same fucking sack. It was just like, oh well, coverage is good downfield. Let me go walk toward this way, and then Chase on is just somehow there. I remember immediately messaging you in dread. No, Chase on gets a sack. It's just gonna be
Yeah,
a bad
we
message.
never. Congrats to Chase Song for having your first career season with over 1 sack a game. Shout out to you.
Just oh my god, phenomenal
You got to
stuff.
clap like this, you know.
Oh. Like I can't. My body isn't physically. I don't know. Yeah, New Orleans game fun. Heart attack, great. Amazon set, great. Got to see Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I think he stared directly into my 5 cameras for my Galaxy phone.
At this
uh,
guy, humble brag, humble
I
brag.
know. He's like he. I think he. I took a picture where it kind of looked like he was like directly staring at my camera. So I'll upload that to the Twitter right before I upload this. So hmm. I mean, I don't know. I thought he kind of looked. I'll let you be the judge of that too.
Would want Trevor Lawrence to look at me, so I don't blame you for
Yeah,
believing.
man. Hey, I already took a picture with him too. It's my Facebook profile picture, probably until he retires. Hopefully as a Jag. But hey. We got another game this week though. New Orleans is fun, but hey, they got a long rest. We got a long rest too. It's about Pittsburgh now, and oh my God, are their fans soft as baby shit?
The tiny towels. Oh my gosh, Trevor
They're
disrespected
perfectly
this.
sized towels. What are you talking about? They're not
I just
tiny.
I think we needed this because the Steelers are like the one non-AFC South team I think every Jags fan just hate.
Hates.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my, I'm just having flashbacks to 2017 when we bitched them twice.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be fun to bitch them again at their own home stadium for the first time that we've seen them since then?
Just going back to like how the Steelers like play and in terms of like how this game is going to be. I think I'm going in expecting similar to like the Saints game, like another low scoring defensive kind of slugfest, which is funny because like I thought that about the Saints game and we ended up scoring. I mean, obviously there was the pick six, but the offense played a little better than I thought it was going to, and the defense and it played pretty good, just they just got gas at the end. So I mean, if it's an exact repeat of the Saints game and we had the same score, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know like it's going to be a loud stadium outside, but still pretty loud. There says there's going to be a good chance of rain, so
And
that's
it's gonna
that's
be
the one.
cold. It's gonna be another cold wet game, which
Oh,
kind of
this is
gives me
going to be like the Philly
PTSD.
game. This
Yeah.
is why is it every time we travel to Pennsylvania it just rains?
No, no, man. Hey, when it rains, it pours, and we're at 4 in a row. We're trying to make it 5, and then this is your last test before the bye week, where you can kind of get healthier. So, hey, what a game it can be against another team that's looking to try to raise their standards for playoff pushing. But I was legit looking at stats. Like if you see me looking around this way, got an iPad instead of a phone where I can just do like this. I can like kind of look here now. Pittsburgh Steelers are the sixth worst scoring offense in the
They're
NFL.
not that good, dude. The Steelers. I'm sorry, like
I hate to
I
say like that's the thing though. You don't want to say they're not good, but they're
they can beat
definitely
us,
yeah.
but they're not threatening outside of a few players in like Mike
They are
Tomlin.
bottom 10 in both pass offense and rushing offense. They're significantly worse than like everyone like that kind of has a winning record when it comes to like the numbers. but they just find ways to win. It's crazy because the way they win games is the way we kind of try to give games kind of to our opponents. Like I just more like the Colts and the Saints game where I feel like the offense had the ball way too much for whatever reason because the offense couldn't get going at some points of those games. It's just they just kind of the team that will take advantage of you if you don't put them away. And Steelers just have a way of doing that. They're 4-2, for better
If
for worse.
Baltimore didn't have like 8 drops, then they'd be 3-3. And then if their defense didn't score more than their offense, they could be 2-4. So like they
Like
they find ways to win. I mean, yeah, the Cleveland game is pretty impressive. So I'll give them that because having more points from your defense and your offense, it does take grit. The Ravens game, like even just going back, there's no feasible reason that they should have won other than the fact that the Ravens just picked like the only day to play terribly, which I feel is somewhat like divisional because divisional teams like divisional games are always stupid in the NFL, almost always. So I don't know, like even with the Steelers, they have a very weird roster and that there's some players who don't scare me at all, but the players who scare me, I'm like kind of scare me.
high end talent, like yeah, TJ Watt, and then the
I
other
mean,
edge
it's
rusher too,
it's pretty much
Highsmith, I
T.J.
think.
Watt and Alex Highsmith. They don't have Cam Hayward back on the inside, so their interior D lines have a couple young guys. Keanu Benson was like a draft pick. I know some fans wanted him, second round from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, really, the Steelers, they're built mainly on like defensively. It's built on allowing T.J. Watt and Highsmith to cook off the edge. And then so the biggest test for the Jags is, can they run the ball well? Which, the Jags haven't been the best running team. The Steelers aren't the best run defense, but they're still a physical team. So, they're gonna try to want to be up to the task. And I think to me that's gonna be the biggest story of the game is, how many third and longs can you avoid? And
Mm-hmm.
if you do get in third and longs, what is the plan for TJ Watt? Because Chiefs game, they did not help Anton at all. And he got cooked versus Chris Jones. So I'm hopeful the staff doesn't make even though Anton's playing better, you don't want to make the same mistake twice because it's TJ Watt. Even versus Highsmith, it's like a one-on-one. You're still not loving that matchup, but if it's TJ, you have to chip him at all times. I mean,
You don't want
hopefully,
to, yeah, no leaving him on an island is basically what the Jaguars have been saying all week. Even though we kind of like leaving our tackles on islands because they kind of put a lot of trust in both Cam and Anton. But they've been kind of holding up, especially Anton's been playing a lot better recently. Sorry, I'm like feverishly trying to research
man, he's
stuff
got
right now.
stats to pull up. Don't worry, I can kill time for you. But
Yeah, no, I found a couple stats right now, especially about that defense. They are bottom 10 in the NFL in both yards per attempt for passing and runs per attempt for rushing. They are bottom 10 in both categories, but they're somehow still 4-2. They are not a good defense, besides that high-end talent on
they
edges.
have a good front seven, and then the second, I mean, more so like two great edge rushers,
Hmm.
solid D line, linebackers are kind of a new core, and then the secondary. To me, that's really the area in which the Jags can attack. I mean, Joey Porter Jr. has been playing pretty well,
Yeah.
so if you can really just target guys opposite from him, I know like I don't know if Patrick Peterson's playing. I know they elevated former Jag legend Luke Barbecue Chicken.
Yes.
Or like corner. So they have areas you can attack. And I think the thing with the Steelers is just like obviously like every team wants to replicate what the 49ers and Texans did. Both those teams put up 30 points. Like it was 30-7, 30-6. And losing to the 49ers, like okay, you can understand that. But losing that bad to the Texans, I mean, we've
Yeah.
seen that before, so I,
Hmm.
I can't I can't shit on them too much because
Hmm. Yeah, that's the one thing. They do the same thing as we do. We kind of win the turnover battle. Like they also do the same. We both have a +6 positive turnover differential too. So them trying to win games that way. It's just basically another turnover battle thing. I always repeat turnover battle every week, I feel like. So it's legit. If the Jaguars can limit mistakes, if they can get to Kenny Pickett, and if they don't, do stupid shit like they tried in New Orleans with a muff punt and like a fumble on offense from Kirk early on, then we put that game away. So as long as we make mistakes, I feel like we can just put them away. I think we're just a straight up better football team, as confident as it is, even if it's going to be a hectic environment. I mean, Doug Peterson and co proved that last week that they can maneuver around bad environments and put teams away if it just gets going, which I feel like they can do.
I think the funny thing is that, we lost the turnover battle last week and we still ended up winning, which is huge. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, really just depends on the, when you face Pittsburgh, they have Deontay Johnson back. We'll see about Tyson and Cisco because if Tyson and Darius can play, I think, you can live with their matchups versus Deontay and Pickens. I
Mm-hmm.
want to see Tyson versus Pickens. I think that's not only did they both go to Georgia, but in terms of like body types and what they excel at, I think it's a really good matchup because Pickens is, oh, I was doing a fantasy debate
Oh.
because I actually traded him in fantasy today, and then my friend was like, "Pickens just isn't good. He's a go route merchant," and I was like, "Yeah, but he's a pretty good go route merchant." So
Mm-hmm.
I think Tyson being able, him and Tyson is probably going to be the story of the game because
Yeah.
if Tyson can do a good job limiting him on those vertical routes, that's a huge part of the Steelers' passing offense. And then we'll see how Deontay versus. I mean, I don't know if they're going to travel. I don't think so. My guess is if they have Tyson and Darius, they're just going to play opposite sides of the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we'll see some of Darius versus Pickens. Maybe we'll see some of Tyson versus Deontay. I mean, Deontay might move inside the slot some. I don't know yet. But I think that to me, the matchup I want to see the most is Tyson versus George Pickens because it's literally like dog versus dog. And I think Pickens' strength plays well into speaking of Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
The
have to. Not 1% chance, 99% faith. That's all
the
I'm gonna say
world's
about the game tomorrow.
world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Is that what they call it or something?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Got it 100% right there.
But yeah, I think to me the story of the game is going to be Pickens versus Tyson because you look at Kenny Pickett. I don't even want to say I don't know, dude. Like he has fourth quarter comebacks,
They
but they
are the
all
second worst total offense in football, and they're legit, I think, bottom three in passing offense. They're not
it's just
good.
crazy though. Like they're not that good. Like Kenny Pickett is not objectively a good quarterback, but then he gets in the fourth quarter and just becomes a different quarterback. And I think he has 18 starts and like five fourth quarter comebacks, which is so stupid. They're not even scoring that many points, but he just has to make one clutch drive. So to me, obviously, can you get to Kenny Pickett? The offensive line for Pittsburgh isn't that great, but then the Jags pass rush up and down. Can you limit the passing plays? Because I'm really not too worried about the run offense versus us. I mean, the Jags specialize in stopping the run, and assuming Hamilton plays, it's even another bonus. He's not on the injury report for this weekend, so
Yeah, so he's
I'm
not listed
assuming
at all. He's gonna be activated, it looks like.
that's going to be huge.
Shout out to the young
Yeah,
sung hero of this defense, though, Andrew Blackson. I feel like he's had like phenomenal production in the interior, kind of taking those snaps. So hey,
2 fumble recoveries, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. Shout out Angela Blackson.
In terms of the running game, I don't think both teams are really going to run the ball well, to be honest. I mean, even with ETN's hot streak, he really hasn't been super efficient because the Jags are trying to salt the game away, and then the offense kind of the running game when they're up is not great, but when they're like neutral, it's great, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
But I feel like if we get Walker Little back, it's just gonna open everything up, both passing and running.
Hopefully, I
So
mean,
let's
yeah,
hope that Walker Little gets to play left guard on
that's
Sunday.
really a balance of how much do you want guys to be like you don't want to push guys too much to play versus Pittsburgh because you have the bye week, but also you want guys to kind of get into you don't want to be off too much time. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that to me is also going to be really questioned. If Walker Little does play, right now he's questionable, so it's like up in the air. If
Mm-hmm.
Walker plays, hopefully he can run the ball a little bit more because it's the battle of the 24th pick in the 21 draft versus 25th pick, Najee versus ETN, which I don't know why they took Najee over him. I mean
But
pre-draft Najee was pretty good, so like
Yeah.
I kind of get it. Like they want a physical runner, but I
Now he
don't think
looks like he has like the wheels of like, he doesn't look like he has the same juice as he did coming out of school because they try to use him as a volume runner. But hey, I'm
I
not.
legit I legit don't think Najee has like I don't know how many big runs that Najee has, but
Yeah.
it's
I mean, let's not talk it to existence now. I think Jalen Warren got a little bit more juice. That's the one I'm kind of worried about because we kind of let Kamara like catch out of the backfield a lot. I feel they can try to use Warren in a kind of similar role for Pittsburgh on Sunday.
that was just going back to Saints game. Like that was the one thing where it was like death by 1,000 checkdowns. It was just like check down to Kamara, run to Kamara. Like they just I think this like this the good thing about the Saints versus the Steelers, I think they play kind of similar in that there really wasn't a ton of explosive plays through the air. Like everything the Saints had to do, they had
Mhm.
to earn, and it was I think Kamara had like 12 catches, which I should know because I went against him in two fantasy leagues, but that's neither here nor there. But he had
He had
like 12
12.
catches.
Jesus.
Carr was just checking down like every time, and
I remember the first half. It was bad. He only like two passes, like 10 yards or more in that first half. It was kind of dreadful to watch. I mean, luckily for us, but it, it was just check that, make plays after the catch. Do it. Do it. Uh, uh, uh. So like I don't know.
hopefully, we're able to get the running game a little bit more balanced because the thing with ETN is even though like his yards per carry is may not be great, he only needs a one or two big runs to have an impact. But, like with Najee, he's not like a huge breakaway guy. I mean, he can make plays in space, but like you're not worried about him taking a crease for like 80 yards most games. I don't want to say that and just jinx it because
Mhm.
I have him on fantasy on my bench and I did not start. Like he's on my bench because I know the Steelers offense is not done good. So naturally, it probably will go off when he's on my bench because he's facing the Jags because of how it works. But
Mhm.
Jags' run defense has played really, really well. So that's been the strength of the team. I think Steelers want to run the ball. I don't think they'll have like based on paper, them having success would be surprising based off like what the Jags want to do on defense and the Steelers rushing offense not really being great to begin with. So you know I think the running game, both teams are going to try to run the ball. It's a matter of like who
Who's gonna
has more.
win? Yeah.
I don't think I don't think both teams might lose running the ball to be honest. I mean maybe Walker makes a big impact, but I could see both like ETN and Najee kind of having like pedestrian days, but then just ETN breaking off like one or two big runs to set the Jags in position because like I said, that's all he needs. He's got the speed, so
Give him a little space. Like we haven't had a big run in a while. I mean, I feel like every big run ETN has is for a touchdown, like 30, 40 yards away from the end zone. So like another one of those would be nice. I am I hopeful?
Can he get to 8 touch or 9 touchdowns? 8 touchdowns over these next 4 weeks. That would be great.
Hey man, he's a lot of multi-touchdown games these last couple of games against Indianapolis and in New Orleans. So hey man. And that's the thing though. You say that, but the Steelers have allowed 4.7 yards per carry. I was trying to remember my numbers. That's sixth worst in the NFL yards per attempt on allowed on defense. They allow big runs, so
Just a matter of will the Jags interior offensive line
get
be
enough
good
push.
enough?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe they'll try to do more edge plays. I remember on the second ETN touchdown, the big touchdown he had like 18 yards. They had like Kirk in motion, and then ETN kind of like got out in space, pulled the second level. So, we'll see if how much inside zone they want to run, and will that actually be effective versus the Steelers? Because, like I said, I'm still wary about the Jags short yardage running and inside running. If you can get some outside runs to balance it, that'd be great. If you can run inside, that'd be even better. But based off what I've seen on this season, I'm not expecting, there to be a fruitful game on the ground. I could be totally wrong and maybe they gash them for like 5 yards a pop. But just based on what I've seen from the Jags and how their interior offensive line has played, I'm not holding my breath too high. Sorry, quick water break.
No, you're okay. I understand. I got distracted myself, but I do want to talk about what George Pickens said earlier this week too. Like they had our little towels thing, and then Trevor said little towels. George Pickens says hope defense, which is kind of, look who's talking when it comes to hope
That's
defense because
talking
all the
about they
numbers,
have a
yeah,
hope offense, but
and a that's the thing though. If you're talking about hope defenses, I mean, that's the thing though. They look at the passing numbers. If they just look at paper, look at passing numbers, and not look at context of where the Jaguars defense has been the entire year, they're gonna be in for a bad, bad game. I remember Cisco's talking to the media today, saying that's what he said about us. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. That's an interesting. He just said interesting choice of words, and I'll leave it at that. So I'm expecting a Cisco pick six now.
hope
I'm
so.
expecting it now.
Cisco gets the pick six. The DMs will be crazy.
Yeah, the pants are off. Let's just say that. We'll just keep it PG at that point. The pants will be off if Cisco or Rayshawn or any of the guys get a pick six on Sunday. Hopefully multiple like that first 2017 game. If it's just like five
All that.
interception game, oh yeah, no, the pants are definitely off at that point. I mean, oh no, hope defense, huh? I think that's just gonna that's just gonna be in the heads of the defense now going into Sunday.
I
Not even
said,
complimentary. It's just hope defense.
how did he not realize that like Tyson, his own teammate from Georgia's, he
I
doesn't watch
mean,
film. He doesn't know ball. He's a good player. He just doesn't know ball. It is what it is.
mm-hmm. The go route merchant will be hopefully against Tyson Campbell all day Sunday. So let's just
Yeah, like
let's just see how it does. Let's not fucking know. It's just
Pickens versus
unbelievable.
Tyson.
I
That's
hope
gonna that's
go after Tyson. Please go after Tyson.
I mean, yeah, if Tyson plays, but if not, Buster Brown, I have faith.
I feel like they will play though, because it's just limited all week. I know no full participation for any of the injured guys this week, but it feels like even if it's like 3 of 5, 4 of 5 of those guys play, because I know Scherf will definitely play, Trevor will definitely play. If we can get like two of Tyson Walker and who else was the other guy that was injured?
Cisco.
Disco, yeah. If we get like 2 or 3 of those guys playing, if not all of them, as I feel like all of them will push to play. They just don't seem those type of players that will kind of rest. This when they get a long week off.
I'm hopeful more for Walker because,
Yeah,
I think like Tyson and Cisco, they both have hamstrings, and with hamstrings, it can be one of those things where
you
you
can
feel good,
react
then you can
aggravate it.
re-aggravate it.
Yeah,
I mean, you can re-aggravate a knee, but hopefully with Walker, I think it's like just a knee sprain. But like we said, you want to play it a little bit safe because you have a bye week, but also like if guys are healthy enough to play
edging.
it that they
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
aggravate it, then you want them because it's an AFC game. You want to go on the bye week on the best record possible. AFC games will matter for division standings, stuff like that. So
Mm.
you want to win every game that's important to you, but it really just depends on how much they can really get from those guys and how much do they want to push because you don't want to push the hamstrings too much and then they're out for another week or so. They have to rehab more. So I think Timmy is very curious in how the medical staff treats everything because I think it's done a good job so far. Preparing guys. Hamilton back is huge. So like I said, hopefully two of those guys can play, if not all three, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like I said, even if they don't, next man up. I mean, the Jags have been doing a decent job at it. The guys that are replacing making plays, whether that's Shatley at left guard, whether that's, Buster Brown at corner, and even Wingard at strong safety. Just guys can make plays. It's just trying to give your team in the best position possible. It's a long season, like you said. If they can't push it, we just gotta support the guys that are. But if they are and they can stay healthy throughout the game, more power to us and more power to them for, trying to push through. Do you have any more thoughts about this game before we kind of just wind down and make a prediction or just keys to win or whatever you want to do this? Like, I don't know. Personally, I just feel like we gotta blow a team out. I know we blew at the Colts kind of, and they just like almost kind of make it's just like a team we should blow out. Am I too overconfident in like just looking at the numbers and be like, okay, well, I know they beat the Ravens, they shouldn't have. I know they beat the Rams, they kind of shouldn't have either, but am I overconfident again, Javal?
You have to be the optimist, so I'm the pessimist. I mean,
Yeah. I that's just how the season has gone. You're right. So try to put me down to earth. Why shouldn't I be overconfident for this game on Sunday?
watch. It's a rain game, so if Trevor Lawrence already has like not history with fumbles, not great history with fumbles, so I can see a scenario where rain game, the go on the ball, like the ball just kind of slips out. So that's to me is like the one of those things where I can see this just as TJ Watt just has like a monster game, and then the fumbles happen, the big plays. So I think just because it's the Jags, I'm like everything can go right, but everything can also go wrong. So
It's the true nihilist way of supporting the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have a pretty good tape on paper, but we know we're gonna find ways to make this harder than it needs to be. Which, I also say that too. We kind of make it harder than it needs to be sometimes. Last week was kind of hard. Colts game should have been put to game also pretty much sooner, but they kind of put it almost within one possession in Indianapolis as well. So we don't want to keep that trend going to Pittsburgh. So let's just please put a team away. We have the long week. We had a lot of rest. Put a team away before the bye. I would love to go 6-2. I know you would too.
I mean, yeah, 5-3. I'm not complaining. 6-2, so
I'm living high life. I mean, you just gotta hope, for as much help as possible to get to at least that 2 seed. Hell, if the Chiefs start slipping at some point, it looks like they won't because they have the power of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey on their
they're they're
hands. So,
they're not NFL's not making them lose a game. So they want this. They want Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl, so
oh
they're not
boy.
making them lose a game.
Yeah, but hey, we just got a long season though. Like I said, let's just go 6-2 first, and then we can reassess in the bye. What is your final score prediction for this Sunday? And I kind of want to go on a tangent after this. I don't want to stop talking, honestly. So I got a
I'll
couple
do
things to say after a
I'll
score
do a little
prediction.
mini tangent. Um, Score prediction. I'll say I don't want to be the negative Nancy and say like I picked the Jags to lose, but because it's like a road game and it's rainy and the Steelers like just bullshit the way no wins, like I can see us like losing this game. Like if we show up, I'll say okay, I won't say who wins who, but I'll say 20-16.
Oh, come on, Javal. I gotta be stronger than that.
Okay, fine. Fine. Just to be because I have to be the pessimist. Steelers 20, Jags 17 or
You know
something.
what's funny about that? Now that you said that, every time that somebody chose the Jaguars to lose this game, we lose the game. So if you're the Jaguars lose on Sunday, I'm just gonna blame you.
Okay, so Jags
No, no.
win 38, Steelers -2.
Negative
Um
two. Oh, so now we can't say it now because you said both. But
I
what you have to
feel
say?
I don't want to jinx it.
No, I just perfectly gaslighted you into a corner, and it feels
Oh
great. No, don't ever
man.
gaslight anyone in
Oh
person. It's
man, I just
terrible.
got
Yeah, the gaslighting was strong right there. But no, I can see why you are in this position because this is the kind of game where the Jaguars can be like, stop being the Jaguars for 1 second. But I'm overconfident. I'm going to say 28-10. I like last week too. I know we had a record. I said 27-10 Jags and Saints when we were drunk as hell at that tailgate spot. But it just seems like a game where the defense can finally get some turnovers and win the turnover battle, and the offense can just kind of put a game to bed early because they will get opportunities to. I feel like the game plan will be kind of similar to last week, where they're not going to try to have Trevor Lawrence drop back, even if their secondary doesn't look the best, because you have those edge rushers that can get home in TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. So just to keep it nice and safe, I will say 28-10 Jaguars. It just seems like a game that we can finally put to rest, and we'll just have good vibes heading into the bye week.
see you have to be optimistic because it's the Steelers and like the history we have, and it's my birthday on Sunday. I'm hoping
Oh
for a
boy.
great win. So
But you just
you know,
had that little bit of doubt in your head. That's okay.
it's
I'm just
it's just because even if the Jags are good, it's like good teams can lose games. It's like even if we go to 5-3, I'm not saying the sky is falling. I just want to be semi-realistic and like yes, I think the Jags can win this game, but I also know the Jags can lose this game. So I want to say there's going to be another dumb loss eventually, but if there would be none, I would love that. So
They just
like
have to
the
give us a couple heart attacks along the way there. This just seems like one of those games where it can be a heart attack along
it
the way
it
there, like
definitely
last
could be
week.
a. I mean, even just the like the playoff game in Pittsburgh, that was a hard. It's oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, we need
Mhm.
to talk about. Hopefully, I don't want it to. Hopefully, we score as much points as it in the first game, but it's not like this back and forth. But
It was like
just
30-7,
it
I
was
think,
like
that
well,
first
yeah,
game. Yeah.
the first game was 30-7 and that had like five interceptions, and then
I'll take that
the
again,
playoff
honestly.
game.
Pickett won't throw as many picks as Roethlisberger did that day, but I think he'll throw multiple picks. I think that's kind of a lock. Pickett will
Hopefully,
throw.
we'll have another chance to intercept a sexual predator playing in the AFC North. That's neither here nor there. But yeah. So
Oh, the talking that we'll do during that game. That's way ahead in the future. That's like early, late December. That's way into the future, but I agree. We're gonna be talking so much shit later on in the year for that team. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's go 6-2. And I'm gonna start going on tangents because we haven't talked in a while. NBA season's finally tipped off. How do you feel so far about one game? Overreaction after one game.
Heat are doing the exact same bullshit they did. Oh my gosh, bro! They literally almost gave up a 20-point lead to the Pistons and won by one
Oh,
point.
Cade
And I'm
Cunningham is
just
him. I mean, hey,
it.
I mean, yeah, I think Cade Cunningham is him. So fair enough.
Oh yeah, Kate is nice. I mean, I knew it's not even so much that as just the fact that like not only did the Heat play like that, and then of course in Dame's first game he has like 30 points.
39. Yeah, 30. I
Yeah,
watched the
so
end of that game where he had that
I think
sweet step
I don't
back
think
dagger three. It was like all net, no rim, just a sweet pure 3-point shot. And I was like, oh damn, this is what the Heat could have had, and they don't because the Blazers want to be petty. Thank you, Blazers. Sorry, I'm a Magic fan, so I have to be thankful every time the Heat kind of suffer. So that's the only time we kind of butt heads as NBA. But y'all have had more success like ever from the Magic.
okay, we're not doing anything.
It's okay. But I having fun watching basketball. I actually did get to go to the first game of the season for Orlando on Wednesday with my buddy Nick. Shout out Nick. They had to play the Rockets, a team that has been on a similar trajectory to the Magic. New head coach, two new starters, and Fred Van Fleet, and fuckface Dylan Brooks himself, because nobody likes Dylan Brooks, but they somehow gave him a big contract for whatever reason. Do you? I know you watch more basketball than I do. Is there a reason why Dylan Brooks got a big contract in the first place? Oh, so
Rockets needed money to spend. I don't
is it
know.
like the NFL where it's like you have to spend money or you're gonna get taxed or lose that money? I mean, I don't know why they would give Dylan Brooks all that money because hey, I mean, he did score like 14 points more than I thought he was going to. That they only scored 86. Orlando is such a fun young basketball team to watch. That's the thing that this team, Magic team feel like they could become anything. Paolo was getting triple teamed every time he was close to the basket, which is pretty funny for a
That was
second year
nice.
player. Yeah, but Franz Wagner, his 3-point shots getting nicer and nicer every single day. Like he had a couple of those like step back, kind of like get out of step back threes in the first quarter of that game. He got hot early on. I mean, he only scored 19, but it feels like he could have had a lot more if the game was a lot closer because the Magic won by 30 opening night, which is the biggest in franchise history. So basketball is crazy since I get all my three sports I watch the most back now. I got football or I got soccer first, then the NFL with the Jags, Newcastle Jags, and now the Magic are back and they kind of have promise and hope again for the first time. And what seems like since Dwight Howard was there. So I'm having fun watching sports again, which is wild.
I'm glad one of us gets to enjoy watching basketball because I sure don't.
Yeah, just that's the thing that we just been in the gutter for so long just to see kind of all the pieces that we have in a deep bench too. Jonathan Isaac, please stay healthy because we saw what he could be
Actually
defensively on
going to
the
stay
court.
healthy.
I don't think so personally. I just don't think so. I want to see it for a long season, but the fact that he's there for the start of the season for the first time since 2019, 2020, phenomenal. I just that block that he had on Jalen Green. Did you see that block at the end of the third quarter on
I
Jalen
didn't.
Green?
I didn't.
Oh, so if you ever look at it, just look up Jonathan Isaac. It's probably the first highlight there. Aimway went absolutely nuts. So like Jalen Green tried to get the highlight dunk on you. And Jonathan Isaac is there. He stood, he got his hand up, he got all ball. Jalen fell to the ground, and Jonathan Isaac, the minister of defense himself, stood over him, like stared down him, got a technical foul at the end of the third quarter for it. And you know what? Absolutely freaking worth it. Aimway was going absolutely crazy for Jonathan Isaac, the MAGA man himself. He can imagine getting blocked by an ordained minister. That's what happened to my fellow Filipino brethren. Oh man, it's just fun, man. I can't believe that I'm having fun watching basketball again.
Must be nice. I'm just miserable.
You
I don't
say
want
that
to.
as someone from watching a final. That's just crazy to me. You went to an NBA finals just because you didn't get one player. Y'all are miserable.
It's not
I
even.
don't get it.
It's not because
Yeah,
we didn't get Dame. It's just because the front office doesn't want to go all in to make the moves. Like they've proven this time and time again. They could have had Bradley Beal. They could have like there's guys available, but the owner doesn't want to go in the luxury tax, so they're not going to make the trade. They're fine with just being a competitive team, but not a title contender. So my hopes are just like there's no point
in
in getting
supporting
excited
basketball, especially when there's a
because
lot of vets on the roster instead of like kind of like where the Magic are, kind of nice young talent.
like it's fine to like not want to go all in if you're building something. You have Jimmy Butler who's like 34. You have Bam. If you just pushed in some chips, then like it's just worse because I know if they actually wanted to go all in, they could win a title. They've proven it, but they don't want to go all in. They don't want to pay the luxury tax, and that's the frustrating part. It's not even so much the GM, but more so ownership doesn't want to spend that money. So if you're not going to put in the money to be a true contender, but you're going to have like you're going to be a good team, but you don't want like the Heat are complacent just being good enough to make the playoffs and have people in the stands, but they don't want to go over the luxury tax. So it's just hell.
Like I totally understand, especially after watching Milwaukee yesterday. It's like, oh my God, that team looks really good with Damian Lillard. Not to rub it in, which is funny because the Magic gets to play Portland tonight, and apparently I just saw on my tablet while I was researching all that Steelers stuff that Ant Simons is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a torn UCL joint in his thumb. So that's a big loss for them. They might be deep into the lottery. It's losing their best player after Dame Lillard got traded.
Good. I hope they get the 14th lottery pick. Joe Cronin, if you are hearing this, I want to strangle you with my bare hands.
And yeah, that's basketball talk. I mean, listen, one of 82. If I want to overreact, I'll say the Magic are going 82-0 and are sweeping the Nuggets NBA Finals. But hey, it's a long season. There will be games in basketball where it's just dumb and it's like, okay, the shots won't fall. The refs are calling stupid fouls, and that's just how basketball always has been for me. Even when Dwight Howard was around, when I had fun, really having fun watching basketball. Shout out Dwight Howard being in the news recently. Not for the things that he did, just oh my God. Oh my
Let's not
God.
talk about that.
Oh my
That'd
God.
be
Oh my God. Why? Why did we have to know all this? But court documents don't lie. Uh, hey man, you can put your pants where you want your pants to be put at, but
nothing's
if you're
wrong
gonna
with
be, yeah,
if you're gonna do that.
don't
Consent,
don't
kids.
yeah, not non-consensual. Don't do non consent. Consent number one. Fuck. Yeah. It was just like me in the strip club with Nubs and the King Friday night. I don't know how I ended up there. I just don't want to be here any longer.
Consent is king, fellas.
Consent is king, man. The
If
strippers
you're
are really trying
listening
to get my
this,
money
if your
though.
name is Dwight or Deshaun, consent is king. That's all we're gonna say.
Oh, Dwight, oh, Deshaun. We're gonna see them many times down the road. Well, probably Dwight. He should. I don't know. The Magic don't retire numbers enough. I feel like because we still use the number one and number 12, but I feel like Penny, Dwight, and even Shaq's number should be retired. But only have the number six retired for the sixth man on the court. But I don't know. I'm not in the fucking Devos family. I don't know what they think sometimes. So who knows? But anything else you want to talk about before we kind of wrap it up? Like, I just having fun as always talking to you. This first time I talked to you since that New Orleans trip, and it's just It's nice. It really is. I always feel like I say this every pod too. It's just nice talking to you about sports, Jaguars primarily, but everything.
I'm just trying to think of what else I have to say other than the fact that thank you Gardner Minshew for throwing those three interceptions and that turnover.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it because we were just bold, just straight to freaking. I
Yeah,
took a double
thank
shift that Monday, and then I had to go to a Magic preseason game, so we couldn't really talk
thank you
before.
Gardner Minshew for that. That was great. Um, I'm just trying to think of like what else. I think that's it for mainly now. Just
Hmm.
like I said, the Jags can win this game, but because it's my birthday and the Jags are doing like it's there's so many factors involved. I'm just mentally prepared for it to go wrong, but I'll have
But
enough
it'll go
alcohol
right,
to
Javal.
keep me sober.
It'll go
If
right. It'll go right. It'll go right, Javal.
I'll have enough alcohol to keep me going. So if
Yeah,
we
fair
do
enough.
lose, and then if we win, then I'll just be even more drunk. So
I'll be
that'll be nice.
messaging you. I'll be messaging you the entire way because I will hope for the best. I just hope we're 6-2 and you can have a very good birthday at that point. I'm gonna be working an overnight shift tomorrow, so that's gonna suck. I'm gonna have a few hours of sleep before the Jags game, so I will be awake in time. I've done it before many times, but I haven't worked an overnight shift in so long. I have no faith in this, but hey, like I said earlier, 1% chance, 99% faith. Just keep the game close, and you never know. But number one team in the country, team that's won two straight national titles. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I want to be optimistic a little bit.
We'll see.
I said I got the
I'm
Magic
very
tonight, Gators tomorrow, and Jag Sunday. Yeah, but what you guys say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
now just hope that there's a good game. Did we talk about the George Pickens quote?
Yeah,
Like the
I thought
hope.
yeah, the Hope defense. I talked about it. I was like
Yeah, I hope
I
that the
believe that our pass defense is not good. Go for it. Target them, Kenny. Go
it's
for
just
it.
funny because I think everybody like all the stat watchers are seeing the Jags like be this bad in like the passing yards. They're like, oh, we can throw versus the Jags, and then they're fourth in DVOA. Like it's, I
It's
think it's
legit funny.
you'll see the people who know ball and who don't know ball based off people who are like, yeah, you can throw on the Jags, and I was like, yeah, like teams can't run, and if we're up big, then you have to throw on us. So yeah, there's like Gardner Minshew had a good game passing yardage wise. He did not have a good game, so
Which is funny
you know
because the Jaguars have better yards per passing attempt. We're 15th compared to the Steelers, who are the eighth worst pass per attempt yardage in the league. It's just that we're so good at run defense that teams are forced to pass on us. And a lot of it for the past few weeks has been kind of more garbage yards than everything, you know? Oh, 30th pass defense. But when you look at the numbers, and yeah, like I said, DVOA especially, which is a perfect analytic stat to kind of look at. The Jags are top five against the pass. If you add points and meaningful time where these passes happen. So like I said, hey, go for it. Try it. Try passing against us. We dare you to. That's basically a thing that's gonna be etched into the minds of the secondary. My calls gonna say, hey, they called you a hope defense. They don't think your pass defense is good. What you gonna do? The Michael Irvin
I
quote.
just yeah, like you said, if we could just get
Early
a game,
turnover. Yeah. Just like get that early turn. It's like set the tone early. Just punch him in the mouth as soon as possible. Like score an offense, get an early turnover on defense, and just show him, man. Just let's just show how good we really are. Please. It hard? Is it hard to do that? I don't think it should be that hard.
it is the Jags. So well, if Cisco has a pick six, then something else will be hard. But
Oh, I mean, yeah, you and me both, man. I think a lot of Jags fans will be hard.
yeah, dude. I mean, hope that Jags play well.
Amen. Yeah.
And just I hope they don't let. It's gonna be hard to disappoint me on Sundays, so I'm just hopeful that everything goes out well and I can just have a peaceful Sunday. Despite the heart attack I'm gonna have for 3 hours, if we can just have a win at the end, I'll be fine with that.
Oh yeah, speaking of hard, I got to see Taylor Rooks in person on last Thursday. Shout out Taylor Rooks.
Friend
I
of the
mean,
pod.
yeah, friend,
When
please.
are we gonna get Taylor Rooks on the pod?
That's the biggest fucking call your shot I've ever heard in my life. Can you imagine? That's that. That's
Stop,
like,
bro.
that's Curry range 3 right there. And I think we're gonna
That's
airball
Jonathan
that.
Isaac taking a full court three.
Don't make fun of Jonathan Isaac now. We will fight for Jonathan. As bad as he is politically as a player, I think Magic fans will die for Jonathan Isaac.
Okay, that's
That's
Jimmy Butler taking a full court three.
Yeah, that's like pre-injury. It's like injury Markel Fultz, like 76ers Markel Fultz taking a 3. Oh, let me even Markel Fultz now taking a 3, I guess, if you want to go that way. But nice talking to you again. We'll have a bye week pod. Do you want to do a trade deadline pod like an hour before? We can kind of have do a live reaction to
So
see
then
if the
we can
Jack
complain when our edge three is still
we Dewan Smoot and
Dewan
let's
Smoot
let's
off a torn Achilles and
yeah. Let's hope. I mean, we heard that are talking to teams about edge rushers, so hopefully one of those moves happen and we're 6-2 along the way, so we can relax and get them accumulated to the team as soon as possible.
I hope so, but
We'll see. We one step at a time. We gotta go for the win first, and then we can try to do a trade deadline and hope that the Jaguars do something after from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. that day. We'll do a last hour live reaction. Well, I'm gonna be just having this iPad here and just kind of having it to the side, just looking notification. Where is it? Come on, some bitch,
I'm
do
I'm
it.
not getting my hopes up too high because of how they have faith in Shaq Guru. Not Shaq Guru, Shaq Guru.
Shaq. Hey
Fun
man,
fact, speaking of
basketball.
Shaq, Shaq's actually going to be at UCF. Or not Shaq, but DJ Diesel is going to be at UCF tomorrow for their
Oh, is
homecoming.
he? That's awesome. You're gonna see Shaq DJ tomorrow?
Maybe. It's pretty early, but
You're thinking about it. That's Saturday morning. I understand.
we'll see.
Hey man, it'd be fun. I feel like you should. Apparently, he has good sets. He's actually a fun DJ to go watch.
DJ Diesel.
I just think of the clip where he had the earphones and just going, just a big ass dude DJing is like a very funny sight. The fact that it's Shaq is like even better. I mean, I got to see Shaq wrestle in person. That's like one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Actually Shaq would be a great Shaq
Hmm.
would be a great wrestler.
If
Like
he did that route instead of basketball, it's just that he was just an athletic freak that he was one of the best basketball players of all time. Dude could do anything. He could be in our TV ads for the general. He could fucking
for a great
DJ,
low rate, get off mine.
go to the general, save some time. Friend of the pod, not really.
Friend, I think yeah, shooting our shot with Shaq is actually if we give him a sponsorship, he would do it. That's all he needs.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we have 6 figures just laying around, hey Shaq, can you just do this quick ad for the pod real quick? Can you do it? Free money for him.
I could see Shaq is never gonna say no to a check.
Exactly. Hey man, shout out to him though. But God, I'm really hoping for Sunday now, since we're getting closer and closer. But I'm still confident at the end of the day, as we're just rambling on.
Go Jags. Let's
Go
get a dub.
Jags.
Let's
I
go into the
know.
bye week 6-2 and make my birthday better, as good as it can. That's all I'm
Hmm.
asking for.
And then we'll go back here Tuesday for sure to see if the Jaguars actually do something.
Not going to trade for anybody.
Have faith. I know. Fuck. I realize I'm working from 8 to 3. I actually get off at 3 o'clock, so I might not make it exactly to do a pod. But if you want to
We're,
try to
we're
do
gonna
some,
we're gonna have a trade deadline. We're gonna have the post trade deadline. Why didn't the Jags trade for
hey
anybody
man, last year we actually
after
did
life?
get someone. We did get someone last year. It was a long-term wait, but we did get someone last trade deadline. We're gonna make it 2 in a row. Have faith,
Ah,
Javal. Have faith in a win.
no,
Have faith for extra edge rusher. Have faith.
Carl Lawson, please.
No, I think they're gonna go bigger than that, but that's just me being the optimist, like you said.
Okay,
It's
really,
not.
really, really quick, just to end this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind them trying to go huge. I just think more so than not, you just need a third. You need a sub package edge rusher,
Mm-hmm.
like because I think Josh Uche was the name from the Patriots, Carl Lawson from the Jets. Obviously, if you get a Chase Young, it'd be great, or a Danielle Hunter, but you have to pay those guys and Josh Allen. So if you could just get one, if you could just get a cheap pass rusher, Josh Uche, Carl Lawson, a third down guy, play like 30% of the snaps, that's all I'm asking for. Will it
Hmm.
happen? I'm not holding my breath because it's bulky, so I feel like he's just going to say we have Chase on, we don't need a third pass rusher. So,
Does he
well,
see me like I do not want to go without a whole season with just Chase on as a third edge rusher, and he'll somehow bullshit his way to that fifth sack on week 18 when we already
oh
locked the
my
AFC South down.
gosh, I'm going to.
Can you imagine if he locks that in at week 18? I'm just trying not to manifest it. I'm laying down here thinking about it if we do not add an edge rusher on Tuesday.
Well, let's get to the game Sunday. Maybe do a manic Monday, and then from there we'll see for Tuesday. So
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, honestly. Javal, I love you. Glad to talk to you as always. Let's go for a win. Magic tonight. Heat tonight
six
too.
and two, six
Six,
and two,
two,
six
please.
and two.
Let's hope both our teams win tonight on basketball, so we actually have a good night.
I don't want the Heat to win, but
Oh, you just oh yeah, what? What? I mean, oh yeah, you said your piece. If UCF plays tomorrow, hope they win. I hope the Gators somehow mashallah their way to a win against the Bulldogs. I don't think it's happening, but I don't want to say it out loud if my boss is watching. But Jags will win on Sunday, though. That's all I'm gonna say. Javal, you have a good rest of your night. I am going to go upload this now. As
shout
long
out
as
to
it's
the
been
rest of the
long.
Jagged Edge.
Exactly. If you're still watching, God
I
bless
don't know
you.
why, but thank you.
God bless you. God, man. It's 6-2, please. 6-2. Javal, have a good night.